I actually thought what he said was absolutely fantastic. He made everything very, very simple and very, very clear. Bartomeu has been lying to his face. He's backstabbed him big time. He's never going to take the club to court. He loves the club too much. He understands that he can't pay the money, and he's going to play, and he's going to give every single thing for Barcelona yet again. So I thought it was fantastic. We know he's an extraordinary player, but he's clearly an extraordinary person as well, because it seems as though, I said the other day that for a player to go on the field carrying something like that around with him, being stabbed in the back by the president of your club, it would be impossible to produce what you're capable of. Well, I've actually changed my mind after reading his statement. I thought it was absolutely perfect. I thought if it ever showed you what sort of human being he is, he absolutely is a star. He's humble, knows exactly where he's going, where he is, what he has to do, and he's going to get on with it. I thought it was sensational.
Right then, Stevie, from Ronald Koeman's perspective, how do you handle all of this?
I think you have to take it at face value and understand and know that Messi's going to give 100%. And actually, as a coach, you can't ask any more from anybody, regardless of how good or how bad a player they are. So, for him, it's a great statement as well, because he may have a problem with Bartomeu. He may have a slight problem with Koeman as well after talking to him. But Koeman knows that he's going to give every single thing on the field of play. So that from Koeman's point of view, can only be great. And clearly, from everybody else connected with Barcelona, it's great as well.
But Gab, the issue that we've got here is the fact that you've had Ronald Koeman coming out and saying that Griezmann was played out of position under recent managers with Barcelona, yet how on earth is he going to try and get the best out of Griezmann with Messi staying? Griezmann, of course, who had a bit of a shocker today, missing that penalty and a good chance in the France game.
Well, look, I mean, that's why he's there and gets paid the big bucks. There's going to be other roles for Griezmann to play. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, with Luis Suarez leaving, obviously there's talk of Memphis Depay coming in. But, you can look at having Griezmann play back as a center forward, like he did a little bit towards the end with Atletico Madrid. You can work out some other formation where perhaps Messi plays in a hole behind two strikers. You do have options that you can work with. And look, if you're asked, why was Griezmann so bad last season, what are you going to say? Oh, Griezmann was bad because he's not good? No, you're going to say, well, part of it, you're going to spin the not his real position argument, because frankly, it's true. That is not Griezmann's natural position. So fair enough to him. I don't think we can hang Koeman out to dry for that.
It's going to be difficult, though, to get the best out of Griezmann with Messi still here, Shaq, isn't it? Is that fair?
Yeah, I certainly believe so. And I think Griezmann struggled to fit in, not just because he's playing all wide, but because he has to take his cues off of Lionel Messi. And at no other point, certainly in his career over the last few years, he's had to, whether it's France and he's playing as the out-and-out striker or sitting in the hole behind, or indeed with Atletico Madrid, he was the main man. And I think roles were reversed. People took their cues off of him. I felt he struggled in understanding what was needed of him when Messi decided to go out wide, or when he came through the middle or dropped deep. And with Messi staying, that doesn't change. It still has, it's still an issue for him. Maybe Koeman offering a little bit more direction and playing him through the middle. But I just don't see how he adjusts in the way Lionel Messi needs him to.
Stevie?
Dan, Koeman absolutely 100% has to say to Griezmann, right, I'm playing you through the middle, but you better stay in the middle, because he can't go wandering around the way he normally does. Certainly the way he does for France. And if you saw him today in his sort of messy role, it was absolutely awful. I mean, he was... just the fact he had Griezmann on the back of his jersey was the only reason we knew who he was. So the only way this works with Depay, Messi and Griezmann is if Koeman grabs him by the throat, probably not by the throat, but says, right, you need to stay right up the pipe, because if you don't, we're going to have nobody in the middle, up front, either in the box or being able to run in behind.
Gab, you mentioned before the possibility of Memphis Depay joining the Barcelona squad. How likely is this?
Well, the word we're getting, and this is actually from Holland, people who are in and around the Dutch camp, say that both Depay and, in fact, Gini Wijnaldum as well, both of them have agreed personal terms in principle with Barcelona. Now it's a question of coming up with a fee that the clubs are gonna accept. So the difficulty for Barcelona is that they still have to get some players out the door. So on the surface, it looks as if they're good to go with these guys, but they're going to need to shift. Obviously, Luis Suarez, Arturo Vidal, Rakitic, of course, already gone, and at least try to get that wage bill down a little bit, and that would greenlight these deals.
So, Shaka, we thought we'd play fantasy football, if you like, with Barcelona, and let's say those deals do happen. Ronaldo comes in, Depay comes in, Coutinho stays, Luis Suarez leaves. You take a look at this team, it's not bad, is it?
It's an outstanding team. On paper, it's a very, very good team. But as you mentioned before, and we've seen with Antoine Griezmann, sometimes very talented players come into this Barcelona team and struggle to have an impact, struggle to find their rhythm. Memphis Depay, I hope he got a little bit of a wake-up call with what happened at Manchester United and how he failed. I think he can be, at times, his biggest enemy. Sometimes his ego gets in his own way. The one thing with this Barcelona dressing room is that I don't see how Memphis Depay's ego becomes an issue. So I'm hoping we see the best of him, certainly in terms of club football and what he has to offer out wide for Barcelona. I've expressed my concerns around Antoine Griezmann. He's still an incredibly talented footballer, but we've not seen that for quite some time. Everybody else, again, it's a good team. It's a very good team. But at times, as we've seen, they've fallen short in the league, desperately short in the Champions League against good opposition. And that is the riddle that Koeman has to figure out. How do you get good players to be at their best?
Speaking of the riddle, Gab, you take a look as we asked you to put together this team. There's no place for their two most expensive signings, no Dembele or Coutinho in the starting 11.
Well, yeah, I knew somebody was going to flag this up. So look, I put Depay, Wijnaldum in there because they're new signings. The reality is, if Coutinho comes back, maybe he'll share time in the three. Maybe he's going to be in the three up front. Depay, similar issue. You've got Ansu Fati in there too, right? You expect he's going to get minutes. It's kind of assuming Dembele will be on the injury program again. Coutinho, of course, could also play in the front three. You have a whole bunch of options here, and you can only play with 11 players, and I think that is significant. But already what we're seeing, if the arrival of Pjanic, unless that was just some sort of accounting fun and games with Artur, means that they're going to go with a pass-oriented midfield. Pjanic and De Jong, at least in some games, I think that already tells us something that this might be what they try to do. And then maybe you've got Wijnaldum doing the running, and then Messi and some other combination up front. It'll be really interesting to see how the pieces fit together. I'm not sure Koeman even has a clear idea. I don't see how he could have a clear idea unless he gets to work with these players a little bit longer.
There's a lot of quality there, Stevie.
Well, on paper, absolutely, I agree 100%. Unfortunately for Barcelona, the game's not played on paper. You have to step on the field and produce. And as much as you can be positive about how great and how much ability certain individuals have, we've just spoken about how we have no idea how this is going to work with Depay, Griezmann and Messi. And we can't forget that the back five's still the same. The back five that when under pressure absolutely collapses. So, yeah, I can understand being positive on the ability side, but the truth of the matter is, on paper, is a different ball game than stepping on the grass and producing.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.